What's up, guys? We're back here at the PBJJF Podcast. Welcome to the podcast number
35.
35. What a pleasure to have David here with us, guys, from GFT in DC. Um, and I think we're gonna be able to talk about so many things of Jiu-Jitsu. Actually, I remember David since blue belt, and man, it was great to see his growth. His school and his jiu-jitsu, his journey. And just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Brave Kimonos. Brave Kimonos is the best jiu-jitsu gear you can find. So if you want to buy Brave Kimonos, you go to bravekimonos.com and use the PBJJF discount code to receive 10% off. On the checkout page, you put the code, and you're gonna receive 10% off. If you're a school owner, you can go to the website and go on the bottom of the page, apply for a wholesale account. Once you get approved, you get a wholesale discount, so you're able to sell Brave Kimonos at your school and get a profit from it, and make sure your students are looking sharp. All right,
I also do this at my school.
I do that as well. And thank you, Roll Live, for supporting the media for PBJJF, helping the live stream. And Roll Live is also coming with a new platform of instructional course for the professors to be able to share the jiu-jitsu all over the world, and also be able to sell their course, for people around them, and also support the community. And so,
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share this podcast with your friends. We're here with Deivid Dias.
and don't forget, guys, if you're not competing at PBJJF, you're missing out. If you really want to be the best in jiu-jitsu, if you want to test your skills against the best in the world, you got to come and compete at PBJJF. PBJJF Pan Ams is happening on June 24th, and also doing the Worlds on October 21st. And throughout the year, we have many other events where you can test your
You
skills.
can look the QR code on top of
Up there.
David head, literally on top of David head,
Right there.
and check out the schedule to the new events, the coming up events.
That's right. Thank you, Dave, for coming today, man. We know each other for a long time, but tell everybody about your journey, about your jiu-jitsu, how you start training jiu-jitsu.
What's up, JP? What's up, Max? What's up, everybody watching at home or who will eventually watch in the near future? Thank you guys for having me here. I know JP and Max for a long time. JP actually longer than Max. I know JP since 2016. I went to a seminar of JP and Denilson Pimenta at Baltimore BJJ.
True.
That's how I get to meet JP, and I've always get the opportunity to chat with the both of you guys. Never in English. It's very awkward to speak with two Brazilians
That's
in
true.
English. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with you guys in English. But
No, that's
be
the
nice.
way. We're like,
A little bit close to you.
it's just, it's gonna be like a conversation here, like we go over so many things.
Talk
So-
about jiu-jitsu, about life,
Jiu-jitsu,
everything.
life. And how was it for you to start training jiu-jitsu? Why did you start training?
I started Jiu-Jitsu at first in 1997. My stepbrother joined because he was getting bullied at school. He was small and chubby, so he joined, and he started showing me some locks and some cool movements of Jiu-Jitsu that I had no idea what it was at the time. But we did live in separate houses, and then our school had a judo program who was affiliated with Gama Filho at that time.
Mm-hmm.
OG.
And then, he had jiu-jitsu outside of the school throughout the program. I came to join a night, and it was there Julio César Pereira, Bruno Alves, Boquinha, Marcos Belo, and many others.
Where was it?
That was in São João de Meriti, Baixada Fluminense, Harmony Gym. And they are affiliated with the Gama Filho.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, you both know how Jiu-Jitsu was. Tough.
Mm-hmm.
Only the tough survives.
Only the tough survive. I did 4 years throughout my high school the 4 years of the high school. I did white, yellow, and blue. Just for you guys to have an idea, Marcos Belo was a brown belt at that time.
Oh my God, that's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. Isaac Araújo, which is the head professor at GFT Embaixada, was a purple belt. And the same day he got promoted to purple belt, I got promoted to yellow belt.
Nice.
That's a long time ago. So the school years was over. I was 18 and dropped out of jiu-jitsu, like many, but never stopped loving jiu-jitsu. Dropping in school here, dropping in school there. You do other arts in Brazil. At the generation of the Beach Boys,
That's right.
I did a little bit of boxing, a little bit of MMA, Chinese boxing. And when I was 20, I moved to the US. And then I dropped jiu-jitsu completely for 10 years. No jiu-jitsu for 10 years, living here under a immigrant's life, like work. In 2014, I was living in Miami. And then I went to visit the black gym I was working in a restaurant and I was a blue belt there. Oh, you do jiu-jitsu? I'm like, I did it in the past. Oh man, you gotta come join us, you gotta come like hang out. So I went to open mat, did 2 rounds, threw up in the back room, felt so bad. But
After 10 years, man, definitely.
But it was good to have that spark back on me. At that same year, my wife and I were leaving Miami and moving back to the DC area. And then I went to Brazil for 4 months in between. And in these 4 months, I got to connect with all the guys that I started jiu-jitsu with, high school friends, the judo guys.
And most of the guys black belts, no?
And that most of the guys black belt 2 degrees, and that's when I really fell in love with jiu-jitsu. I feel like the first time I liked, and when you do jiu-jitsu, Max was talking in the podcast before, it's something that you keep forever. If you do jiu-jitsu for a few years, you have those memories, and I always had those great memories, and I always knew that one day I was gonna come back to jiu-jitsu. But I had no idea what jiu-jitsu had reserved to me. No idea what jiu-jitsu had reserved to me. So, trained in Brazil for these 4 months. That was the end of the world. It was an apocalypse. I was in a deadline to come back here and
No.
have my own thing going on. So, moved back to the area. Tried a few gyms. I don't want to mention names. Liked, but it was nothing close to what I learned that what jiu-jitsu was, with the experience that I had that made me fall in love with jiu-jitsu. And I started thinking, how could I bring that experience I had, or as close to that experience I had, back home so other people could also have that possibility. Did a little bit of research, got in touch with some GFT guys. Marcos Belo told me, Boquinha told me, Denilson Pimenta has an affiliation school in Baltimore, which was an hour away from me. I'm like, Baltimore, an hour away is not bad. Went to a couple of the Denilson Pimenta's class, one of your seminars, and met Ataíde. Taíde, always trying to live a dream like I am, trying to look for opportunities like I was. Hey man, if I get a dojo in DC, would you come once a week to teach us? I would.
Like, sure.
My day off is Friday. Can you make it happen Friday? I'm like, give me some time.
Nice.
And then I was working at a restaurant at the time, managing a restaurant, had influence. And then subleased this place a couple times a week. It was a capoeira place called Roda Movements. It was Mondays and Fridays. Had a Brazilian guy who was playing soccer with me, Marcio, who is one of my brown belts this day. Very first student. DJ Marcio. Hey Marcio, what's up, meu mano?
Shout out, Marcio.
Marcio is the man, he teaches the morning classes. He's been with me from day one. Brought a couple other people from the restaurant. Ended up finding out that one of the girls of the restaurant was a blue belt. She came up to train also with her husband at the time. We started with 8 people. 8 people.
Two
Ataíde,
times a week.
2 times a week. Ataíde came to teach the class on Friday,
And you
and we
repeated
tried the
that
positions that
on Monday.
he teach us on Monday. That Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturday. Let's bring this purple belt Ataíde student from Brazil. Purple belt came for 3 months. Ataíde went back to Brazil. Purple belt came another time. Yeah, I think now it's time to find our own spot. And the rest, you guys know. You met me through the journey.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Years of
beautiful.
dedication. A lot of people will tell you guys they do not do IBJJF. They have a problem with the way they do. I built my whole team, and my whole lineage, not just with the GF team, but with the IBJJF battlefields. I love competing. I'm a competitor. The large majority of my students are competitors. Unlikely other coaches that will say, "Oh, I think you should compete." I really encourage them. I really encourage. I will not make somebody do something they do not like, but I will most likely change their mind in the way of it. This is who I am. I'm very intense. You guys see me. I'm very intense. It's like I was born that way.
220 volts.
Oh, everything I do, I put not just love, but intensity. And yeah, I've been in Tacoma Park now with our gym since 2017, 6 years. I have a big group of students that have been with me for 5 years or more. When I say big, for a small gym, I have over 30 guys that have been with me for the past 5 years.
That's awesome. The retention is super important.
Those guys, the new people, they come for these guys. They don't come for me. I'm maintaining the balance. I'm the coach. I'm not their training partners. I'm making sure that everything goes smooth. Because if you ended up thinking in Jiu-Jitsu, we teach our students, we share everything we know, but what they will end up most likely asking the majority of the questions to others because they will not have that access to you. 1 hour and a half of class. They will develop relationships in between themselves. After the class, they will drill with each other. A white belt will ask a purple belt, a blue belt, how to do this.
I love when I see this in the gym. Like when a white belt to try drill something after the class or ask something to the purple belt is beautiful. I love.
And I feel that a big responsibility of mine is to make sure that those higher rank guys, intermediate level guys, are ready to pass not just the knowledge, but the good vibes of the gym first. Good vibes. Jiu-Jitsu only. In my gym, we don't talk politics. We don't talk religion. In other gyms, they do as they want. We do just Jiu-Jitsu and good vibes. I know every single one of my students' name. It's something that I make sure that I know. Sometimes a new student come up and they sign up and I forget and I go to the kids coach. Hey Nilson, hey, what is the name of this kid again? Sometimes I will change their names in class. I'll call somebody else a different name and everybody will just look at me like, oh, hey, I'm sorry guys. I make those mistakes, but I make sure that I develop that relationship. People come to me for a lot more than Jiu-Jitsu. They open up their personalities to me. They pull it aside. They share their stories. Things that they don't share maybe with their spouses, with their kids, with their closer friends. They come up to me, to us, to share. I'm sure that you guys experience that too. That's respect. That's somebody looking for a mentorship from guidance, for the respect they have to you inside the mats, because they don't know a lot of us outside the mats. You earn all of that respect inside the mats. For me, that's the magic right there. Earn each other's respect. For them to know that it's mutual. I learn something from every one of my students. I learned finance from one of my students. I learned how to invest in real estate with another insurance of mine. I learned how to buy a car in my business name with another one of my student. I constantly improve my Spanish with my Latino students. So it's an exchange of knowledge and cannot just be Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is the door open for us to be a lot more than coach and student, a lot more than mentorship, but to really get to know each other and to become friends. I make friendships with my students. I know that some coaches have a style that, my student's my student. I'm not telling you I hang out with my students. I know how to divide those things. I do hang out with some of my students, but you have to put a wall in there. But I make sure that I'm accessible to all of my students. If they want to ever have a coffee or sit down, have a conversation outside of jiu-jitsu, they can call me and I'm gonna be there for them.
That's good. So why
I
did you
hope I
start?
don't do wrong sometimes, but I think
all
by,
have
by
different
yeah, but I
styles.
think between the age, always you're gonna have somebody, some students more close than others, but you should be open to everyone, but like some students just should be a little bit more close,
Oh, absolutely.
create more relationship, whatever, you know.
And you said like, when did you move? Why did you move to the U.S.?
Okay, I first moved to the US like many of us for better opportunities. I came up in December of 2016. I came up in a J1 visa, an exchange student visa. And yeah, after my visa, I overstayed my visa and tried to have a better life than the one I had back home. For me to tell you that, I need to know, Max know where I am from. I'm from São João de Meriti. Quem estiver me assistindo aí de São João de Meriti aí, com certeza eu sei que tem alguém me assistindo aí.
Baixada
And,
Cruel.
Baixada.
and
Família,
and
um
then
abraço.
and then afterwards, this the YouTube channel will create a subtitles
Subtitles.
in Portuguese, so people can change
Yes,
the
can
subtitles. So
check it
people
out.
in
Check it out,
Portuguese-
guys.
People in Portuguese, after live, people in Brazil, they can watch and read the subtitles.
I'm just gonna let
It's
everybody know
very
real
accurate. Yeah, no, it's such a great tool. I think those artificial intelligence is helping a lot, but it might be dangerous in the future. But yeah, like
Se
you
tiver
said,
alguém aí da Baixada, bota um comentário aí, pô.
Galera de São João aí, depois da podcast, vai estar ao vivo aí ao vivo não, vai ficar gravado aí com a legenda em português. Então a galera que estiver interessada em saber um pouquinho mais do que a gente falou, galera de São João, deixa um comentário aí. E aquele abraço. São João de Meriti, coming back. São João de Meriti, JP, for me to tell you, this is the most dense neighborhood population in the entire world. It's a very dense, it's a lot of people.
where is São João de Meriti? Where?
Baixada Fluminense.
And when he talk about São João de Meriti, you can tell his energy, like São João de Meriti. It's like from Baixada.
Eric Vilas Boas.
Erickson is my brother,
Orgulho
black belt.
máximo, mano, te amo.
Aí esse Erickson Vilas Boas aí é meu irmão, black belt também da GFT
Nice.
lá.
Rosemary.
Rosemary é minha mãe, alô mãezinha, aquele abraço.
Junior is here
Garcia,
too.
Júnior Garcia, pô, brabo demais, meu parceiro.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man.
And yeah, from São João de Meriti, people born in São João de Meriti got very little opportunities in life. I did have the opportunity to move here, and I try to make that one the one, and like many
Make it
others
happen.
there, took my time, did the right thing, and my turn absolutely came. And here I am, 17 years of America, 20
You
years
come
of
in
Brazil,
2007.
6.
2006.
And I'm almost to a point in my life that I'm half Brazilian, half American, because I'll be in 3 years, I'll be 2020, and that's anything above
half-
that, it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be the large majority of my life.
That's true. And
My-
you have a child, right? You
I
have
have two kids.
Two
Two
kids.
kids.
Zoe, 6 years old, and Alec, 4 years old.
Nice. And your wife is American?
My wife is American, Jennifer.
She's from here, Maryland. Or
She's from Pennsylvania, but she's been in DC from school. She moved here to school and she's been in DC.
That's why you guys come to Maryland.
That's why I came to.
Nice. DC area.
Mhm.
Cool.
That's-
I like a lot of this area here, man.
It
DMV
works for
area is
us.
cool, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Changed my life, this area. And that's,
likewise.
I should like.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's the intense, right? So what were the most challenge things you faced moving to the US at first? What were the biggest challenge for you?
The biggest challenge is for you to believe that you can actually do, man. because the majority of the people have tried and have failed. So you're always gonna get that bad feedback at first, especially from your family, from the people close to you. They've never done such things. When you want to do something that is bigger than what everybody has ever done, that's not gonna bother them, but they just won't believe that you can't do it. So the first time was to convince myself that I was gonna come here and I was gonna succeed here. After I did that, JP, you move, you see the reality. And the reality in the beginning, it's a tough one. I first moved into a exchange student in Sarasota. I was there for 3 months.
Where is
Beautiful.
Sarasota? Where is Sarasota?
Sarasota is Florida.
Oh,
I was there with a bunch of 70 exchange students from Brazil. Everybody's 20, life is beautiful. Everybody's playboy, and I'm from Baixada Fluminense. You know, sold a car, my mom's car, to come in this trip. After those students went back to Brazil, and a handful of us decided to stay. And then I moved to Connecticut. I got a job at being a painter, sorry.
it
And
was
then
a bridge, something, port bridge.
Bridgeport.
Bridgeport,
That's close, but I
ah.
moved to Danbury, Connecticut.
There's a lot of Brazilians
A lot
there,
of
right?
Brazilians
But what I
there.
am is also one of the cities that are close to that, but it's Danbury, Connecticut. It's 30,000 Brazilians.
Oh my God.
Beautiful, beautiful little town, you know.
It's
Like,
almost a little Brazil in the
it's
US.
almost a little Brazil that you can get by speaking Portuguese, and that was kind of holding me back a little bit. But I sought money for the first time in my life. I had 2 full-time jobs. I worked during the day as a painter, and at night I was a busboy, restaurant busboy, bussing tables.
What is that? What is that? Sorry.
Cleaning tables
Oh,
in the
okay.
restaurant, cleaning tables. That's when I learned the most valuable and precious lessons of my life. The first one, that was taking care of myself. I was living alone for the first time, and I always lived by myself. I didn't have roommates. It was a studio and myself. I got to learn who I was. I got to learn my limits.
How to learn how to be by yourself. So sometimes people don't know how to be by
Exactly. I
yourself.
learned how to cook. I learned how to save money. I learned how to invest. Most of all, things that we never talk about when we were kids is how to invest your money instead of just saving your money. I learned all those things by myself and young. And I learned English very well because I didn't have anything else to worry. I was working in the restaurant, many Americans, you know, like I work doing the construction during the day with Latinos and Brazilians, but at night with Americans. So I was able to build those relationships, and I had many friends, hung out with those friends outside of that like working environment. And that way I was able to get the confidence. And yeah, 2 years after that, I said enough is enough. I'm gonna move to Hawaii. I have the year of my life, and after that, it's gonna be the World Cup soon, Olympics. I'm gonna go back to Brazil, and then I moved to Hawaii. I was in Hawaii for a year. I met my wife in Hawaii.
It's like, okay, and I'm
Then
gonna back to Brazil.
The plan
The
changed.
plan changed. She was moving. She came back to DC. I came to visit her in DC a couple times. She went to visit me in Hawaii a couple times, and we're like, hold on, this is too far away. It's not gonna work. We either move forward, or we split up. And I decided to come to Washington DC because she already lived in Hawaii. The working life perspective was not the best in Hawaii. In DC, I thought it was going to be better opportunity. She was already a little bit more stabilized in DC. I already had a job lined in DC, and it made more sense to move to DC.
I didn't know. I didn't know you moved
To
lived in
living in
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Me
I lived in
neither.
How is
Hawaii.
Hawaii? How was Hawaii
Man,
for you?
best time of my life.
I can't imagine.
I was
I
single
can
in
imagine.
Hawaii, 25 years old, had a little bit of saved up money. As I said, I worked hard, was young. I did everything I wanted to do in my life. I had an old car in Hawaii, had a surfing board. I lived 2 blocks away from the beach. Yeah.
Live the dream,
I
Hawaii.
live the
Where
dream,
in
man.
Hawaii? Where?
Waikiki, more precisely.
Waikiki.
Yeah, but
And you,
Hawaii,
you have some connection on jiu-jitsu on that time or like 000?
I did get to train at BJ Pen's Academy once, but Hawaii, MMA. You
Got
know,
it.
Hawaii's are crazy. They love jiu-jitsu. Once they know you're Brazilian, they have some respect for Brazilians,
Mm-hmm.
because Brazilians love surf, and jiu-jitsu and
And
surf is
jiu-jitsu,
very
yeah.
Very
connected.
connect,
It
yeah.
is.
And then Hawaii and Brazil, it's connected because of that. Like
They like fighting too,
they
right?
like
Like
fighting in
Hawaii.
the street, in the full waves, like
Yeah.
they're very territorial. Like,
You
but
get on his wave like a porrada on the bitch. Let's go.
but I don't look like they call a haole, like a haole, like outsiders, like we call gringos,
Mm-hmm.
I don't look like a haole. I'm brown. My eyes a little like shallow, like
Right.
I could go for a Hawaiian. So
And it'd be like local.
keep your mouth shut, like and
They won't know it.
yeah, and move on.
That's
That's
pretty cool,
cool.
man.
But yeah, Hawaii was great. The only problem with Hawaii, it's making money. Like it's an island that goes around tourism,
Tourism.
and after tourism it's down, it's really hard to just like keep the basic bills up to date, and it didn't make
And how was
financial
it? How
sense.
was it? How was it? Like it was like a summertime, good. You have to save up for the whole year. How was
Let me
that?
just tell you, it's an island that's 6 hours away from California,
Mm-hmm.
right? Imagine for you to send any goodies for that island, a gallon of milk to get there, meat or produce. Everything is like
Expensive,
twice plus the amount of the you would play. Hawaiians call the USA the main island. Like I still have a good connection with Hawaii. It's my sponsors day by day. I visit AJ in Hawaii recently. Hawaii is amazing. If you guys have never been to Hawaii,
never
you're
been to
jiu-jitsu
Hawaii.
black belts, you'll be very welcome in Hawaii. People would love to have
I
you
have
guys
a
in Hawaii.
friend, Hunter, I think he's Hawaii, and he invited me one time. That's like I should definitely give it a try.
Hawaii will change your perspective of nature and life. It's completely amazing.
What's the advice for you would give to us? What should we do? I never been to Hawaii. I want to go at some point. What would you tell me? What is the what should I do in Hawaii? Where
Right.
should I go?
If you go to Hawaii, in my opinion, you go to the North Shore of Oahu Island. The North Shore is where all the most, I'm gonna say it here. You have never been there, but Pipeline Beach, where the Master
I have
Worlds
a-
happens there. Sunset, Waimea Bay, all of those beaches are
Orlando Monteiro lived that too, no?
I think so.
He
Yeah.
got a school down there, foundation, something like this.
yeah, all of those schools are connected within like a few miles, and they're all very diverse. One has a huge wave in the shore, the other one has a huge wave inside, the other one is flat, just for snorkeling. It's just out of this world, yeah.
Great.
It's 70 to 76 degrees
Every day.
all day. Like there's a GFT in Hawaii that I'm pretty sure that if you get in touch with them, they're gonna welcome you very much there.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to Hawaii and go to the North Shore. You'll
All
thank me
right.
later.
Same guys. If you go to Hawaii, that's the way to go. And and then you move to DC,
I
right?
moved to Miami. I
Oh,
was in Miami for 4 years.
From Hawaii
From
to
Hawaii,
Miami.
no, from Hawaii I moved to DC for 6 months. My wife and I stayed in DC for 6 months, and then she was set to go to school in Miami, Florida International University. She did her master's degree, and I did my BA in my arts in tourism and hospitality. I wasn't able to finish. She did finish, and 3.5 years after that, almost 4 years, we went back to Brazil for 4 months, and from there, after the World Cup of 2014, we moved back to the DC area.
Where that's the time I moved to DC, 2014.
2014, September of
June.
2014.
I
that's
moved
when
in
moved to
June,
DC.
the day after Brazil lost for Germany.
Mhm.
The next day, I moved to
That's
US.
great.
I remember you from that time because I did some research, and then at the time we were working with Al, and yeah,
That's when I
that's
moved.
why I'm like, oh, I know who that guy
That's good.
around 2015.
Yeah. 2014, I moved. But been blessed, man. Here, living the dream.
Yeah,
That's
likewise.
I
Jiu-jitsu.
think we're all living the dream here, right? Thank you,
That's a
Jiu-Jitsu,
gift
and
from
the
God. Glad to live by the dream,
Yeah.
live
Yeah.
by jiu-jitsu.
and how I think how U.S., opened the I think the U.S. and the people opened their arms to us. Like I think it's a blast to be able to do what we do here
Mm-hmm.
and how well we were received.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I'm blessed, man. I can't
absolutely.
I
complain.
check here like that guy, my friend Orlando Monteiro. He's from Kona.
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 Kona is, if I'm not wrong, Kona might be a different island. I'm not sure. There, Hawaii is divided
It's a
in eight
different
islands,
island.
but only a few islands that have population.
Yeah.
It's uh,
Honolulu, right?
no, Oahu, it's one island. Big Island's another island. Maui, it's another island, and a few other islands that if I tell you that I know on the top of my head,
Gotcha.
I'll be lying. But yeah,
But
that's
I check it out like on his Instagram, whatever. Like, man, looking beautiful. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Should go to Hawaii one day.
and
Hawaii, that's the way.
going back to jiu-jitsu. I never thought JP as a blue belt of opening a gym. I never opened a gym in jiu-jitsu. I tell my students I didn't open a gym in jiu-jitsu. The gym opened me, like, because I never wanted to have a gym. I just wanted to have a place to
To
roll,
train, yeah.
to train. But things were like progressing and making sense. And I gotta tell you this as a person and as a leader. I've been a leader my entire life. Playing school, anything I play, I'm the captain, I'm the leader. If I play anything, I'm most likely the guy who takes the leadership. I've been that from ever since I remember. And now I can recognize a leader as well because a leader is a leader. A leader is born a leader. A follower is born a follower. Now I'm able to recognize the leaders. And leaders are okay with responsibilities. Followers are not okay with responsibilities. They don't want to make decisions. And it's okay to be a follower. But when I say like my leadership is what put jiu-jitsu in my way and what made me succeed with my journey in jiu-jitsu, taking a step at a time. uh, I didn't have a idea of what was I was doing in the beginning. Took some resilience, made many mistakes in a way. Like start teaching without a methodology because first of all, it's still a collar belt. Still finding my way. But one thing I never did, either to my students or to the people around me, is to lie to them, to where I stand, and hide knowledge from them. So I was always worried from bringing the knowledge to the inside the gym, bringing other people from outside of the gym.
I remember you was always doing seminars,
I always bring others to my students. I brought Max several times, his professor Ato Cesar Gogó. I
Go
brought the
go.
Nilson Pimenta several times.
Mohammed, I saw on
Muhammad
there,
Ali
right?
many times, Malachi Edmund, Jamil Hill, Julia Boscher, Hugo Marques.
Oh
Marcos.
yeah.
I have brought the best
Davi
of the
Vieira,
best.
remember?
Davi Vieira brought the best of the best to my gym to show my students that I'm not the only one. I'm not right in what I say. There are other styles who have preferences in jiu-jitsu, and it is okay for them to learn from other people as well. Uh, I want them to learn from other people because the better they get, the better everybody around them gets. And the
That's
better
the way
I
it
get
is.
as a coach too. Hey coach, how do you do this, man? Sometimes you're not a master of that position and have to realize
I
that
just told about this
you're
last
not a master of
podcast.
that position. Like, listen, I'm not going to teach you this because I'm not a master, but I'm going to do a little bit of research.
I'll figure it out.
And we'll figure out, bring it up, we'll drill it together. We're humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know every position of jiu-jitsu. And
But you should have a mighty open
to learn
to learn
from a student.
and put the ego on the side on the side to let your student learn from other people too. Then I mean that's like really important.
And
It's
to
like, man, I'm not really good on that, but this guy here can help. Like my that's what I know.
absolutely.
Look for more on these guys.
Absolutely,
Whatever, you know?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. People ask me, "Hey, coach, can you teach me specific positions like warm guard?" I'm like, I'm not the type of warm guard guy, but I can suggest to a guy that I believe that is good that you can get your ideas from it. It's not that I don't know anything from warm guard, but I'm not gonna be the one teaching you something that I'm not a specialist
Yeah.
in. Like we try to teach our students the basic, correct. And we as professors, we have preferences as well. We have to keep our preferences aside and try to teach them what is necessary for them to develop, and they will pick their preferences in a way. I like closed guard, but I have guys that can't close the guard. Their legs too short, so I develop my deep half so I can help these guys. I'm never gonna do a deep half. If you watch 100 of matches in mine on a tournament, 2 or 3 times I ended up in the deep half because jiu-jitsu will do that to you eventually.
Somebody put you there.
You're there. I'm not gonna be like looking for deep half, but I know deep half well. I understand the game well.
You go past where you know from that your best. Your search. I do this all the time, man. Like now, I have some students like interested more on foot logs. Or I'm also interested in that too. I start learning more, but my partner, he know way more techniques about footlocks from that. Sometimes I don't know. I'm teaching the class and a student asks him something. I'm like, hold on, Eric, come here. What are you doing in that position? My mind open after he put like his hands or like ideas to go. Do you understand?
Respect, first of all, to yourself, acknowledging that you don't know the position, and to your partner who is that specific position, even though he's a brown belt.
He's a brown belt and like older man too, and he like 50, no, 40, 46, 47, I don't know. Some people will be like, whatever, I know more, but like definitely I can visualize, I can see he know more details from that than me. And why not?
Good for the both of you guys to acknowledge that and understand it.
Definitely for the students.
I give my students room as well to show a technique in class. Like I give them the opportunity, like show your favorite technique right there. Some will freeze, some will do L, some will do the basic of the basic, not show their favorite technique because they want to make sure that they're doing it right. Some will show the fancies of the fancy stuff, even though they don't have the basics right, because it gives them the authority.
I like this make it given like the love to teaching, and you go open more opportunities on the future to get more instructors or whatever. That's nice.
I open my students to, after some class, like frequently questions that you want to ask. Because somebody will ask you how to escape full mount, somebody will ask you how to finish from the back control, and then you have everybody drilling the position a little bit longer, like I love doing that kind of stuff to my students. I love giving my students the extra time. I hate doing the bare minimum. I think if you're mediocre, do the bare minimum, I'm always trying to show them that if they want to do, I'm never gonna hold them from doing the extra. Maybe I'm not able to do half an hour today, but I'm gonna show you one position and you drill that for the next hour.
Yeah.
You leave the gym. You leave the gym when you're done. I believe in always giving the little bit of extra. If you want the extra from the students, I hate asking for things to my students. My students step ahead of me and they do things. I think we're in the same page about that. We don't. Yeah, I get the mop. I clean up my gym. I like doing.
Then
it gives
probably
me a sense of,
some students get all the mop to
oh,
help
no,
you.
coach, let me know. I got it. We do it together. We're chatting. We're so hyper excited. The endorphin after the rounds. We're talking about the rounds. We're talking about the game plan. It's a way of spending the extra time with them.
Yeah, that's important. That's a connection too.
Absolutely.
I clean the mats and I tell the guys, look, this is to remind me where I came from.
I let them help. My mat is
they
huge.
help. No, they help. Hey, they help.
They're like,
But I help.
It's good. Most of the time, man, I put the hands on the mop. Somebody go get the other mop.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
Most of the time. I don't remember when I did it by myself. Every time I get one, somebody go get. Sometimes not the same person, but somebody get them up and start clean with me.
I'm sure that you're not noticing, but it's not. It's like he's doing you a favor, but you're also doing a favor because he's getting to spend that time with you, and that time may or may not come into a jiu-jitsu conversation.
Most of the time, not.
he just wants to spend some time to get to know, to ask you a personal question, to invite you to a birthday party, or like I've been to birthday parties, barbecues, weddings. You develop all those relationships.
I feel that's
with your
really important for
student.
the students sometimes too, no?
Man, the
Like
student-
invite this the coach or whatever they have it.
Your student, you invited for somebody's wedding, to a dinner at somebody's house, who gonna invite you to meet their wife and daughter and kids. That's
As
a
long as
special
they're
place.
doing it 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., I'm on. Right?
That's true.
Yes.
2 a.m. to 6 a.m., I'm on.
They probably found time to do that.
Yeah.
No, but like you get on people.
No, we do. I like to do
inside.
inside the school because I open the opportunity for everybody. I don't pick a group. To train more, cool, but I try to do like a acai
Like
on Fridays. Once a month, I do a Friday where everybody can come and hang out. They can eat acai. Someone from the Brazilian culture, like people can talk and get to know them, each other. I usually do more in a group inside the school. Where's a way where everybody can have the access to come and doesn't feel like
and the connection too, no? Really good connection.
it's only a few people, allowed to come. It's
Absolutely.
open for everybody.
Yeah. I
It's
like
not like
these
a
events
clique
in
or
the school
something
too.
like that.
But I don't know, watch it, somebody fight or whatever. That's cool.
That's yeah.
Now
I like
with
to.
PBJJF, when your friends go and fight, you can do like a party at the gym to watch that.
That's
and
right.
have a strength,
You
you
can do
know?
it.
Yeah.
And
Well-
and the tournaments are a great way to come and bring your friends, like and cheer for each other, help each other.
Absolutely.
Such a good way of connecting.
Your
the
school has
students.
like such good energy, man.
My school shows up, the guys
Yeah,
support
they
each
got
other,
it.
the families show up. And if you're a student of mine, PBJJF Pan Am's June 24, we already spoke about it. Sign up, and we're gonna bring a big group to that event.
Yeah. Hey, there's gonna be in the books, man. There's gonna be in the Hall of the Fame, the
Our
the
first
teams who
one,
win
man.
this.
Uh,
10 years from now, people
the
still
very
looking back
first
at this.
ones to win the PBJJF Pan Am's. I have some guys that it's their last opportunity to compete at their current belts. I'm looking forward to promote some of
Promote.
my guys at that day.
Nice.
Hey, maybe if they win, who knows?
I only promote my guys that day if they win. If they don't win, they win in 2 months.
Wait to the end of the year.
Hey,
How you do the promotion? You like to like do a party like all together, or like when the students wear you promote?
I have 2 graduations a year, but I don't only promote my students in graduation or out of graduation. I had a last graduation in spring. I only promoted one guy to gray belt.
Mm-hmm.
I think promotion is very individual, and it goes by
Your own time.
you go on your own time. I do the graduation more for the gathering together. It's an event. Everybody shows up with the white gi. We get to eat and hang out with each other. Yeah, but I promote students competitions.
Like daily
They
too.
do
Like,
out daily basis, surprise. Or I'm very open to my students when they're gonna get promoted. I have conversations with them.
I like
don't
this
come
too.
I don't come, hey, you're gonna get promoted, question mark. No, you have a deadline, like, yes, I want you to win a specific tournament, but it's not a requirement for you to win. That's a little bit of an older mentality, Some coaches still keep that mentality. I'm okay because each school, each coach has a different way to approach. But I do keep the guys that want to do it professionally a little bit longer in the belts than the guy who wants to do recreation. A 40-year-old lawyer against a 23-year-old blue belt who trains 6 times a week. 6 times a week. So they will all get...
Definitely need to judge these guys different.
No,
It's
absolutely.
impossible comparable.
Absolutely, and I do not let them compare each other because, as you guys were speaking in the previous podcast, it's not a fair comparison.
Definitely not.
that's true. It's the compare yourself with yourself, man. That's the way
Yourself
to
with
go.
yourself. Or if you really want to compare yourself, that's what I tell them: fight your biggest fear, which is yourself. Show up to a competition. You look at somebody else to compare to is yourself. And day by day, you getting better and you can feel that process. But all the answers that you're looking and you're asking for your coach and you want your coach to answer, you're not gonna get answered at the gym. You can't get some of the answers at the gym. You're not gonna you guys know you're gonna be that white belt or a blue belt. Like you can go 100% at me, and then you're gonna say like you try to prove something that is 100%.
Carlos.
100%, 100%. You can't do 100% at the gym. The setup is not right. There's no referee. There's no rules. There's no partner. There's no weight. There's no check-in. The only way to do it 100% is to really beat yourself and to find those answers.
Competition.
To go out there and just do it.
Yeah.
PBJJF is a great opportunity because I think it's bringing that mentality of like you guys being around for a few years. You had that mentality of the beginning as a starter tournament, and now your competitors are competing at your event for a little while now, and now they're growing in the rankings as well, and they're also staying in the competition. The tendency is for you guys to see more color and more color belts competing, black belts, brown belts, and bringing.
Hey, they have a lot of black belts sign up on Pan Ams. That's cool. I'm happy
From
with
all
that.
of the,
Yeah, from all the area, I'm really happy. I wanna see more black belts competing. You know what I mean?
That's the goal. That's the goal. Bring the federation up and attract more of those guys. You know, like.
We're doing
The
have
way to
like
go.
Thiago sign up, get Glaucia,
And
black belts,
that's coming.
yeah,
Many
other
people,
ones,
man.
yeah.
So many people already. We might.
Yeah, I'm
Then what
excited.
we want to do is we want to give a spotlight for the black belts. We're gonna start advertising them coming to the tournament, and we're gonna get the black belts to compete at first, so they can be ready to coach their students.
That's one of the biggest struggles of black belts is coaching 10, 20 students
And
in
then
one
going
day.
to-
They
And then
compete
in the
and-
middle of the
Yeah.
coaching, it's your turn. And you're just like,
Yeah, that's what
Thiago came
we
with
will
this idea
start
for us.
on June 24th. All the black belts competed early in the day, and
It's the best.
after he's free to coach his students.
And I was thinking about this. Maybe on Thursday we could do like us just coming talking about the event, seeing the brackets.
I
Like we
like it.
can, hey,
That's pretty
this
cool.
is good.
That's-
Interesting. All right.
I like it,
David
like
starting
that, like
the
Dana
guy.
White to do. No, you saw that like on the web. Dana White to do like not on the brackets now, but like he talk about the card.
We
That's
could do
cool.
that,
Yeah.
about the black belt division. Like, hey, what do you?
I
What do you
like.
see? Oh, who's here?
Who's your
is
favorite?
he?
What do you think
Yeah, like
gonna
what
happen
is-
here or that? I like it. Good idea. Yeah.
The game. What are they doing? What do you think the game will be? I think that's a way for us to even bring the spotlight for the black belts. A well-deserved spotlight, an opportunity for them to showcase their work.
absolutely, absolutely.
And yeah, it's like we're trying to do here on the podcast as well. Like getting to maybe some of your students don't know all those your history.
Absolutely.
And this is gonna be a way of sharing this with all of your students, so they can go to the podcast and know your
Check it out.
story. So I think it's such a good tool to have, so you don't have to tell everybody all of it. Hey,
No,
I did this, I did that. They can watch and get to know about it.
It's on a different perspective too,
It's a different prospect.
stuff.
Sometimes they don't know much about your journey, because
Absolutely.
you can be sharing every day with everybody. So.
And some people start 7, 10 years ago, and some start like 2 weeks ago, and they're gonna know about you, like and yeah, some students in the room already know a lot about you. Some know nothing,
Yeah,
So,
and if they watch the podcast, they'll have a chance to get to know you
speaking
better.
of students, guys, if you're watching me, thank you for the support. GFT the seats, always supporting. The guys that aren't watching live, I know that we'll catch
They
up
are here,
later.
man.
Like
You can see they are
my
here.
guys are very loyal and very
Send some
present.
questions, guys. Send some questions.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, we're
Yeah.
gonna open for questions. We're gonna read the questions as well.
Se alguém tiver também alguma pergunta em português aí, pode ficar à vontade de perguntar aí. Se tiver um tempinho, nós vamos responder aí.
Isso aí.
So shout out
Orgulho
to
máximo.
hey Ron Ron, Matt. So and maybe we're gonna. We're talking about this earlier. Maybe we're gonna bring the biggest PBJJF podcast fans to this table and get to know their experience.
Mm-hmm.
Watching us and being here, like seeing how we do things and seeing how what is the way they see the podcast from the outside behind the cameras, and I think that'll be interesting.
Hey, your brother say you guys back in the day fight on the carpet in the house.
Porrada comigo, mano. Uma porrada, joelho, fight.
When there's no carpet, gonna on the floor, doesn't matter.
I'm a family with a big, many cousins, and everybody's like involved in some type of martial arts.
And just
Chinese boxing, jiu-jitsu, judo. Come on, let me.
this don't work. Let me show you something. They say here like 2 minutes without lost their friendship. That's perfect.
You grew up in Brazil, guys. You know how it is in Brazil. It's yeah, we have to step up. When we grew up, it's only one way to solve bullying.
It's porrada, fighting.
That's
It
right.
was to fight back.
Yeah, fight back.
So I have a question here, Matt. Ask, as a black belt, when do you decide to compete less and coach teach more?
Every coach has a different mentality. I will only stop competing when my body can't handle no more. I'm a competitor. I love competing, but I do not love competing more than I like coaching. You know, like, first of all, I'm gonna divide in goals. My first goal is to be the best father possible. The best one is the world is all BS. The best
And
one
the best
can be-
one is a jiu-jitsu practitioner, right?
always the best one. After that, the best one is to be a coach, mentor, and below that, it's to be a competitor. However, I love competing so much that I do not pretend to intend to stop or slow down. I got my black belt in September. I was signed up for no gi PNMs as a brown belt. My professor came to visit, promoted me, and changed the registration. 10 days later, I was competing at the black belt level. The sooner, it's my opinion, the sooner I get there and get my frustrations dealing with the toughest bracket, the sooner I'm gonna adapt to that level and to that bracket. The more I avoid, the less I'm going to, the further from my personal goals as an athlete I'm going to be. I had to pull out from 2 competitions this year. Pan Ams, I had a fractured rib. And Europeans have a fractured rib.
I remember that.
And for Pan Ams, I had staph disease. And yeah, man, when you had like a lot of people that I highlight and say, no, man, this staph, you tape it up, you compete. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to your students. It's not fair to your competitors. You're sick, you stay home, you don't compete. You have a disease, you don't compete. But yeah, I intend to do Master Worlds and no gi Worlds, no gi Pan Ams. I love the majors, you know. So I say that's personal, huh? I don't think if you like competing, you should slow down what you like. But if you do it for different reasons, you know, like, and you will eventually slow down, and then you should do what you love. If coaching is what you love, do what you love, develop what you love. But I think every now and then competing, not always, but every now and then competing in front of your students, for them to see they also make mistakes, they also get nervous, they also prepare, they also go to the process of working out with them, you know, like, it's very important to build
Lead
that
by
relationship,
example,
you know, like,
I
I'm a
like
big
that.
believer of that.
Hey, sua mãe fez uma pergunta aqui em português. Acho que por que você escolheu o jiu-jitsu?
Eu não escolhi o jiu-jitsu. O jiu-jitsu me escolheu, né? Eu tive a minha experiência de jiu-jitsu no passado, como adolescente. Por ali, no Brasil, a gente teve aquela época do jiu-jitsu, do Royce Gracie, vale tudo, pit boy, porrada, baile funk de corredor.
Baixada.
Tudo aquilo ali. Então foi naquela época ali meio que eu sempre fui magrinho, pequeno, né, cara? Um modo ali de o cara se defender. E foi ali tipo uma namorada de adolescência ali que eu namorei rapidinho e larguei. E depois de
Se
anos eu
reencontrou.
reencontrei e tava uma gostosa. Entendeu? Aí eu, pô, cara. Entendeu?
Caraca, essa namoradinha aí mudou.
É isso aí. E aí eu já via com outra cabeça o jiu-jitsu, já não era mais aquela. O jiu-jitsu mudou também.
Cara, isso vai de encontro com o que a gente falou no outro podcast, que às vezes o jiu-jitsu é pra todo mundo, mas às vezes nem todo mundo é pro jiu-jitsu. Aí o JP falou assim, nem todo mundo é pro jiu-jitsu naquele momento.
Exatamente.
Foi o que aconteceu com você, né? Tipo, você se afastou porque você não tava pronto pro jiu-jitsu.
Exatamente.
Quando tu voltou lá na frente, conectou de novo.
Foi foi uma outra experiência completamente diferente. Porque eu já não sentia que eu tinha que provar. Naquela época tinha muito de provar, né? Chegar de kimono sujo, tampar na porrada com qualquer um. Os faixa que era, o faixa graduada era um azul, né, mano? Se tu tivesse
roxo,
um azul, roxo, pô, o cara era mais brabo da academia. Os caras metiam ele o caneco, metiam ele a pancada, amassava mesmo, joelho na barriga, mata-leão no nariz.
Ali era quem sobrevivia só mesmo.
Sobrevivia. Então, aí depois quando eu encontrei o jiu-jitsu tinha mudado muito. A Gama Filho, que já era Grappling Fight Team, já tinha mudado muito. E let's go back to English too.
Yeah.
That was it. Foi isso, mãezinha. Um beijo, espero ter respondido aí.
Let's say in English, because
MMA.
people probably is confused. No, her mama asked here why he chose jiu-jitsu.
As I mentioned before, jiu-jitsu chose me. You know, I had a first relationship with jiu-jitsu that went good, but it didn't go amazing. And a decade later, I had the opportunity to have a different experience under the same team, the same group of people. Those group of people developed a lot mentally in jiu-jitsu. I developed a lot mentally and in jiu-jitsu. And it was that love. It's been with me for now 10 years.
There's another one
9
here.
years.
Are you interested in doing MMA at some point?
No, MMA was never something I was interested. Not in the past, not now. I don't like getting punched in the face. I cannot keep it cool when I get punched in the face. You know, like I get punched in the face and I'll lose my mind. And I'll get knocked out after that. So, no. But maybe to train MMA one day in the future. I do have a goal of have MMA in one of my
Fighters
locations, one of my gyms. If any of my students wanna go
on that way,
that route, you know, like I'll
be able
definitely
to help
encourage.
him. Yeah.
That's cool.
I tell everyone, people don't realize that the jiu-jitsu MMA is a different jiu-jitsu. You need to adapt your jiu-jitsu to MMA. It's like it's I definitely call like you gotta connect the porrada with the jiu-jitsu. If you only try to do jiu-jitsu, it's hard. Into the ground, you gotta like learn the position where you can punch it to open space to connect your jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Because on MMA, man, the guy can just stand up. he push you and stand up, and how jiu-jitsu will work? Do you understand? You need to maintain him there first, keep him there, and then you go building up your positions. And jiu-jitsu is different, but it's nice. I like a lot too.
Also at a stage in my life that, as I said, I'm a late bloomer in jiu-jitsu. You know, I did really jiu-jitsu in the beginning of 30 to 30 years. So the past 8 years I've been pushing jiu-jitsu. It's really hard to masterize simultaneous, like many sports. And yeah, even at my gym right now, I do jiu-jitsu only. Because of I'm a jiu-jitsu specialist, and the people who look for me look for jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. We have one advantage upon locals, and I don't mean no disrespect, and it's not level of jiu-jitsu, it's being Brazilian, because we teach Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and being Brazilian is bring the legitimacy, brings the I'm not saying that if you're not Brazilian, you're not a legit jiu-jitsu guy. I'm just talking that learning jiu-jitsu from a Brazilian is a different perspective. Because you're learning from not just jiu-jitsu, but you're learning about the culture. About the açaí culture, about the pão de queijo culture, about osso. Few words in Portuguese, like mata-leão, things that are very basic. I feel that my students get really like curious about that part of jiu-jitsu, which is not on the mats, it's off the mats.
Yeah.
And
True. And I think that's with PBJJF, we're trying to bring the jiu-jitsu. We bring the feeling of competing in Brazil here, at PBJJF. So the rule set, like the rule set we use are the one that we use in Brazil.
That's one thing.
And everybody in
get
our
shocked
team,
when I come to here, because like every tournament that I sign up my students at different rules, and I need to learn by the rules to. Man, I said, what this guy doing? Please, like, just follow one rules, and a whole tournament will be so easy.
and we have black belts behind the federation, like people that really put 20 years of training, of watching, seeing how
Skin in the game.
jiu-jitsu, see how things that works, things that will work. We went through the mountains, and we fought, everything we had to fight to get here. And having that experience and trying to bring that experience from Brazil to the US, it's unique. Even the professionalism, the way we try to do the events, like we try to run in Brazil. Like compete in Brazil is the same rule set
absolutely.
you do at PBJJF.
Any tournament, same rule set.
Any tournament.
Anyone.
We match because when I coach my students, I try to bring a little bit of that Brazilian experience to them as well. Going back to the beginning, I'm intense. If you hear brasileiros, you watching brasileiros and watching worlds, man, brasileiro, man, it's people screaming 100% the entire time. Is loud. For somebody who walks into a venue like that the first time, is intimidating. The worlds, you see the energy. In Brazil, people shout, people sing, they make songs, they jump together, they pull out flags, like it's a different experience.
Different.
And the goal of bringing that Brazilian experience, the Brazilian taste to the US, it's unique. I think it's very valid, and people love it.
That's the way.
Bring the hey.
Bora, porra!
They students like that, man.
No, that's great, man. David, thanks so much, man, for coming today. What a great time we had with you. The first of many at the podcast. This is just the beginning of the podcast as well, And more the federation grows, more the podcast will grow, and we'll have a really big vision with PBJJF. And man, thank you for coming today. We
Thanks
appreciate
for the support, man. You
your
always
time.
there.
You always
support
here
us.
coming to the event since the first event,
Since the first one.
Inside the
So,
gym.
yes,
Yeah.
in Silver
inside the
Spring,
gym,
Silver
yeah.
Spring.
And here in
So-
all events. That's
Yeah,
He and his
you've
teams
seen
there
the
also.
evolution of PBJJF, and this like looking
his
back
sports.
from 2 years from now, seeing that in the beginning and seeing now,
Fastest growing federation in the world, by
So,
far.
that's
By
the
far.
way.
And growing the right way, doing great quality events, and yeah. Thank you guys for
Thank you,
having
man.
me. Pleasure to be here. As I said, I've known you guys for a long time. JP, Max GFT as well. I want to take a minute to also thank my two sponsors, Monkey Tape. Thanks for being my sponsors, holding my hands together.
Definitely hold your
Best
hands.
tape
so-
in the game.
Definitely hold your hands.
That's right.
Best tape in the game. Also Day by Day, my gi sponsors all the way from Hawaii. Thank you guys for the love.
Sure.
And thank you guys for bringing me here. First of many. And I can't wait to see you guys on June 24th.
June 24.
Don't
Hey,
forget your
PBJJF
mug.
Pan Am.
That's yours.
you might be able to see David competing at Pan Am's
I'll take a super fight.
2020 June 24th. Hope to see you guys there.
We're on the talks.
Ooh.
Thank you guys for watching.
Força! Subscribe, like, share.
Don't forget it.
Porra, brother, brigadão,
Obrigado
irmão.
a vocês,
Bom
né?
pra caralho. Aí, tua história é bonita pra caramba.